Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. This is your host, Rising Oblivion. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about the Persona 3 port and the Persona 5 Royal port. So we have some news regarding both of these and some interesting things to talk about here. So we did have some recent news when it came to Persona 5 Royal on Switch. A lot of people wanted to know if the entire game would fit on the cartridge, and we do now have confirmation that the game is big enough to actually fit on a cartridge. I guess you could say small enough to fit completely on a cartridge, so there should not have to be any downloads or anything that included when it actually comes to the Persona 5 Royal cartridge. We do know that this game was going to be a physical version, but we have seen games in the past have a cartridge but also some downloads beside it. So it seems like everything here will fit on the cartridge. It's going to be 12.5 gigabytes, and I think somewhere around 18 gigs is what the Nintendo Switch cartridges usually have. I think some can reach up to 32, but I think it costs a little bit more, something like that, but I think around 18 is what it's supposed to be. So that 12.5 is going to fit completely on the cartridge, and we also know that it's going to have Nintendo Switch Pro, the controller support, so we will be able to use your Pro controller on this. Of course, it can also be docked and everything else. It's going to be in 720p on the Switch, and of course, then upscale a little bit more once you put it into the dock and see it on the bigger screen there. Although it's kind of like upscaled, I think, from that. From what we can tell, the cutscenes in this game are going to be in 720p. Now, that makes a lot of this why it's going to be able to fit on the Nintendo Switch cartridge, is because a lot of the animated scenes are actually what actually takes up a decent bulk of these games. I mean, think about how many animated scenes you see within Persona 5, especially Persona 5 Royal. Just about every palace has a couple animated scenes or two, and then you have the intro, and then the outros, and everything else in between, certain things in mementos and stuff like that. There are a lot of cutscenes, and being able to downscale these to have these at 720p makes it to where there is more space that they can put on the cartridge for this game, and that is more than likely why it is as small as it is. It's cut about a third of the entire game's capacity so that it can fit on the Switch here, which is good. I mean, I'm glad the fact that they're able to do that because of them bringing that down, and of course having the Pro controller support and everything else. That's super nice. I'm glad that we're finally getting this on Switch. It seems like this is going to be able to run just fine and be perfect the way it is. I don't think anybody was really doubting this because, like I said before, and we've talked about this, it technically was like a PS3 game, then kind of ported over the PS4, then Royals like the real PS4 version, but that's still like a PS3 game, so we all knew it could run on the Switch. I mean, hell, Strikers is on there, and that's practically not too far from regular P5 anyway, so we know that it could fit pretty well on there, but looks like we're going to be just okay when it comes to the Switch port. I also have a picture here where you can see what it actually looks like to see a Persona 5 Royal on the Nintendo Switch store. So of course it has a couple of pictures there, but I believe this is the first screenshot we have of having the Persona 5 Royal on the Switch. Thank you, Faz, for tweeting these out. That's where I got the picture from, so thank you very much, man. But let's move on over to Persona 3 Portable. So we know that that is also going to be getting a multi-platform release, and there is some news regarding that. Persona 3 Portable just recently had some things regarding its actual rating done by Sega Korea. That means it actually has a rating system over in Korea. It's 15 years and over because it has mild sexuality, nudity, violence, stuff like that. Of course, it's going to be rated M, probably over the States and everything else, just because that's how it is. Rating systems kind of vary country to country, so of course it's going to be rated M here. But what this means is that places that hadn't ever gotten the game before are getting ratings already by now, which means a lot of times those are some of the final steps that typically takes place when a game is about to come out, because of course you need the entire game done, then looked at, then rated, and then it goes out, you know what I mean? So we know for sure that it's already going to be having a rating for those places where it never was at yet. So we're getting a rating for Korea, and we know also that Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royal are going to be at the Tokyo Game Show 2022 lineup, which is happening pretty dang soon. So we know for sure that all of these ports are getting a lot of news. We already know Royal's release date, of course, but we didn't know Persona 3 Portables or Persona 4 Golden's release dates. I think a lot of people expected them to come out next year, but seeing as how Persona 3 Portable is getting actual ratings done in countries where it's not been out yet, it's getting already some attention for this year's Tokyo Game Show. They could have just talked about Royal, right? But I think a lot of people speculate that we're going to be getting a release date for Portable and for Golden at that Tokyo Game Show, and more than likely, just seeing as how quickly things are going along, there could be a actual potential scenario here where we actually end up seeing the P3 Portable and P4 Golden come out this year. I would like to see that. That would be really cool. I know for sure I would like them to have them into some kind of bundle or something like that. From what we understand, that both of these are going to be coming out at the exact same time, so there's a good chance, considering that Portable is pretty much done and Golden already has had so much attention from before in the past, that they're pretty much almost ready to have these things done and ready to go. More than likely, it could have just been that most of these things, like P5, P4, and P3, were all ready to go, but of course, P5 being the bigger game that it is, they wanted that potentially maybe to come out first. I'm not too sure, but chronologically, it'd make more sense for 3 and 4. I'm not too sure. I'm not exactly sure on their plan, but we could be seeing these ports faster than we thought. Like I said, we know Royals, but P3 and P4 might be coming out a bit sooner than we had expected. And sort of the last thing I wanted to talk about in this video, and I didn't put it in the title or thumbnail or anything, is talking a little bit about Soul Hackers 2 and the fact of how badly it has been bombing. A lot of people are trying to deny it's bombing. I'm not saying it's a good thing it bombed. I didn't necessarily like the game a whole lot. I have a review up early on my channel. I played the game about a month before it released and everything, but this is kind of the last thing I wanted to talk a little bit here about. If you didn't know, that basically there's no way of like saying this otherwise. Like, Soul Hackers 2 did not do very well, especially even in Japan, okay? Like, the PS5 version sold 20,000 the last week it had dropped out. It dropped below the top 30 already. Like, this game is already tanking down below top 30. It's like already gone down, meaning that only like 2,000 something copies were sold within the last week, and the game's not hardly ever been out too long, and it's already tanking pretty damn bad. Like, it's already down 30%, and I don't know exactly what went wrong, if it had to deal with something like the company pushing this game, showing off this game, marketing it, or something like that. It's something that we've seen from ATLUS again and again. They're not always the best at marketing. Things either get leaked super early, people tweet things out before they're supposed to, people get footage before they're supposed to and it leaks, or this or that. There typically always ends up being something that is messed up here. This game also had a whole lot of day one DLC, including a full-on character who has a full-on story arc throughout pretty much most of the game. Like, level 10 to the finish of the game is a DLC character that you could have earlier on who has story stuff that is locked immediately by DLC. I think it's like $10 as well, so like, I think a lot of people already just sort of had a bad taste in their mouth initially before even playing this game. The marketing with it, and then just sort of the gameplay overall seemed a little bit, I don't know, I guess subpar, I would say, against something like Persona 5 or Shin Megami Tensei 5. I know a lot of people say, you can't compare them. Look, they're JRPGs from ATLUS. I think it's pretty safe to just compare them when it comes to a fundamental sense of like a video game itself, or like a JRPG itself. I think that's okay to compare. I mean, it's the same company, right? Certainly have some different studios within the company, but this game just, on a few different levels, didn't hit it. Do I think it's a terrible game? You should never play it? No, not at all. I think it's still a fun experience. There's still something you can get away with this, you know. I think everybody can sort of take something from this game. It is still a pretty damn good story and has good characters. It's just some gameplay here or there is kind of not the best, especially when it comes to the quality of life changes and things that we have seen from JRPGs in the most recent years, including something like Shin Megami Tensei V. There's just some stuff that we have seen that just do not look and feel and play as well when it comes to Soul Hackers 2. I feel like Shin Megami Tensei V blows this thing out of the water, and I think Shin Megami Tensei V was something that a lot of people considered to be kind of mediocre. So take with that what you will. That's just kind of my 2 cents on this. I don't think it's a bad game. I don't think it deserves all the hate that it's gotten, but I do understand some of the hate. I'm kind of in the middle when it comes to this game. It's sad, but also at the same time, if the game's not working out, it's not working out. What can you do? But that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Sorry for ending this on like a more somber, melancholy feel. I don't know, I feel like the whole beginning was like super positive, but I just kind of want to add this in at the tail end here. I will be trying to have more content coming out, guys, more streams and things like that. Been doing some different life changes, looking for a new job and within the gaming community, so you might be expecting some pretty cool things here from the channel here in the future, and I got some cool stuff to talk about. But that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe for more content. As always, I will see you on the next video. Thank you all so much for watching.